Hey everyone, it's Boardgame Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I was sent a fresh new copy of The Game, Quick and Easy by NSV Games. If you have seen any of the other videos, you might know that I just love these small box games from NSV. And The Game, Quick and Easy, still lives up to that love. Now this game, The Game, Quick and Easy, is a co-op game where every player is on the same team. There are two stacks of grouped cards. One stack is going in ascending order from 1 to 10, and the other in descending order from 10 to 1. It is the group's job to get all 50 of these cards placed on those groups. Each player will start the game with 2 cards each, and on your turn you will need to play one or the 2 cards that you have on one of the groups. But if playing on the ascending pile, then the card you place needs to be higher than the previously placed card, and if playing on the descending pile, then your card needs to be lower than the shown card on that pile. You might think at this point that it will be impossible to do this only allowing 2 cards in your hand at a time. Well, there is a third rule, and the rule is called the reverse trick. If you lay out a card that matches the same color as the previously placed card, then you can disobey the ascending or descending rule. Really, you will be doing this to reset the group to a higher or lower number. You'll want to reset the group that goes in ascending value to a lower number while playing a high card on the descending group of cards, because after you do that, players can now start playing their cards on the top of that group that you just reset. For example, this white 8 was on the top of the ascending group. If you were to obey the rules, only a 9 or 10 would be able to be placed on top. But luckily for you, there is a white 1 in your hand. Place it on top of that pile using the reverse trick and reset that group for the entire team to continue playing. Now Travis over here, he can play his yellow 2 because before he would have been stuck not being able to play any of his cards. The game focuses on communication, but not all types of knowledge can be told for everyone to hear. Players can never state specific numbers that they hold in their hands, or even hint for other players to know exactly what number cards that they have in any way, but you are encouraged and allowed to give more generalizations as to what you have, as other players can make sure that the future players can play at least one of their cards, and eventually that everyone can discard all 50 cards. An example of something that you would be allowed to say is, "Hey, I have a high yellow and a medium red." This lets players know your colors that could be important, especially if they can set up a possible reverse trick, but also other players don't know exactly the number that you have, but could guess from maybe 3 to 4 different numbers that it might be. At any point in the game, if a player can't play any of their cards in their hand, the game ends and all players lose the game. While taking turns in a clockwise manner, and you manage to discard all 50 cards into the 2 different groups, then the entire group wins the game. The game is very team-oriented, and you need to make sure that you are talking with the other players and not just worrying about yourself. Because if a player decides just to play cards for themselves and not care about any other players, then there will be a time where another player just can't play one of their cards, and the entire team loses. And this will not just be that player's fault, but it would also be the player who didn't listen or talk to their teammates figuring out a plan for the game. When playing the game, you are concerned about the number, most of all, but also the color for those reverse tricks. And the balance of these 2 things works so elegantly together. You're interested in both, but for different reasons. And the way these 2 simple characteristics work together in this game just blows my mind. Of course, you want certain numbers to make it easier to play cards, but then when you get a card where the number doesn't quite work out for you, the number might just not even matter, or it might even be better for you as you use the reverse trick and reset that group of cards. I mean, there is nothing better than resetting these groups back in this game. Well, except when you get all 50 cards played and win the game. The game also comes with a professional variant where you can only play 1 card each turn, and you cannot hint or mention anything about the number. Just the color, or maybe what stack you might want to play on, or what group you want to reverse trick on. It's more difficult, but at this point, you're a pro, right? Now, this is such a great co-op card game, and it only has 52 cards. I mean, wow. Now, are you game to game the game, Quick and Easy, by NSV Games?
Again, this is Boardgame Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.